Fair enough. How many shoots have you done this week?
2. I have done 2 this week. 3.
3.
I did one on Sunday, a model house. I went to Montreal on Monday, and then I just did a product promotion shoot yesterday.
Okay, that's.
Do you shoot free shoot too?
Free shoots?
Reshoot.
Yeah. Oh, and I did. Yeah, I met up with him too. 4 shoots. I've just been all over the place today. And I shot with him and not a portrait photographer as well. He did my portraits. So, man, I have done 4. Yeah, it's been a crazy week.
How was Montreal?
Amazing. It was my first time going to Montreal. So, I mean, like a lot of tourist stuff. Went on that Ferris wheel and checked it out. But
how much is it to get on that Ferris wheel?
$25. Not too bad.
We should have done it.
I thought it was like 60.
I said it was 60. I was like, all right, hell.
They have student pricing, 19.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop listening to you, Frank.
It's probably like the London Eye or something. I don't know. Something was $60 for most Ferris wheels.
Yeah, they had zip lining too right beside it. I was like, man, I just want to do all the fun things in Montreal, but we still got like amazing pictures while we were down there. Like so much cobblestone to look at and like.
Yeah. Oh, my buddy went. He was touring the old like abandoned like mills and stuff, and like they found some random rope swing inside of the abandoned.
Okay,
mill.
so I think I was at the same exact place. We got to this first place that had like a train, and we went through the train onto the other side. Got these abandoned warehouses. There's a rope up the side. Pretended to climb up it to try to get in there. All of a sudden, there's these 3 guys who were rolling out from underneath the warehouse, and they started running, and they were like, security, security, and we had to book it out of there because, like, signs everywhere, like, do not trespass, and we were, like, trying to take photos in the abandoned place. Yeah, I think I was exactly there. I was, like, trying to take photos, and all of a sudden we were like, okay, gotta book it, grab every suitcase. I was, like, trying to take photos, and all of a sudden we were like, okay, gotta book it, grab every suitcase plus a backpack for the heels. Like, everything.
Security's probably looking at you guys like, what the
If they went through my bag, they'd be like, what is this? And I'm like, a steamer. I needed to bring it. I know we're shooting outside, but I brought the steamer just in case. Find an outlet, steam the clothes.
Are you moving into this place? Like, what's going on?
Oh my god, my model bag's about to rip. I put so much clothing in there. I'm like, all right, we're prepared for every single vibe that you guys want. We're good to go.
We got this.
So do you go through outfits with photographers before the shoot?
Of course, definitely. Yeah. I like to message the photographers, see like what their vibe is. I have some people who are just like straight up portrait photographers. They won't even care about like the bottom half. So I'm like, perfect. I just have to figure out a color for the top. But if you were doing like a full blown like commercial kind of shoot, you want to get the earrings, the heels, the outfit. You want to make sure you have every single piece included in there. So I message photographers, see what their vibe is, so we can have like a similar vibe. I don't just show up with like streetwear and they're like, oh, we just wanted a business port. I'm like, oh, okay, well, enjoy my mesh crop top.
Yeah, because I know like me and him do it, but I don't know if like too many other people actually like take the time to like plan their shoots out and figure out.
Definitely. I find like you get way better shots exactly what you're looking for if you're both collaborating, seeing what they like, and then the location, finding the outfits, just so that you're both on the same page when you get there. It's not just like, okay, so I brought these clothing that I already had at my house. They're looking pretty faded, and let's try to figure something out. I'm like, no.
Yeah, let's hope the location works well too. Right?
Yeah. I'm like, I've gotten that from a lot of photographers. They're like, the location worked perfectly with your outfit. I'm like, perks of being a stylist beforehand.
How many outfits do you usually bring?
At least 3. I definitely try to bring more. I think I spend about $200 to $500 a shoot just trying to get good pieces. Like, I gotta get down to the shoes, gotta get them the earrings. Like shoes and earrings, those are things that you obviously have to keep, so you have to have like a good amount of accessories to rotate through, because you don't want to be shooting the same stuff. Like, people will notice if you have like one catchy piece that's always in all your photos. And so I just always bring 3 outfits or more.
Yeah, that's fair.
Fair enough. Yeah. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Border Kit. Blah. Let me restart that. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Border.
What's up?
I did a Boundcast, okay?
Whoa. Whoa.
I love you, buddy.
Calling out shade.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Born to Create podcast, ran by Acef.media. You can listen to this podcast on YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify. Also, make sure to check us out on Instagram at Born to Create podcast. If you guys do listen to it on YouTube and please make sure to subscribe. Also, if you listen to it on iTunes and on Spotify, please do leave us a rating. It actually does help a lot. So yeah, I'm Ace. I'm a 20-year-old photographer, videographer, and a passionate apple pie eater. And this is my co-host,
Frank. I'm 20, and yeah.
Oh, you're not a content creator today?
Content creator and strategist. Let's just keep rolling on that one.
Changes every episode.
Oh, I know. Why not?
So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in.
I'm a cook for this episode.
Oh, you're a cook now?
I'm a cook. Oh, yeah.
Dude, we should do an episode of that.
Yo, we gotta make pies, man. We already had this set up, man. We have to both make pies, have somebody on the podcast, and taste our pies and see which one's good.
Food photographer.
Yeah, and do some ASMR with those mics, you know? Eating some pies. Perfect.
A little bit of cinnamon on that one.
You can hear it.
So today's special guest is Hollie Kennedy. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is obviously Hollie Kennedy. I'm 23 years old. I recently just finished my modeling program in March, and I'm in school for psychology sociology.
Yes. How many years you got left in school then?
Just one semester. I have taken time off to travel, get hit by a car, and just one semester, and then I have that double degree, and then figure out from there.
Yeah. Have that paper and you're good.
I'm like, just get that paper and we're good. It's been a good 6 years.
6 years. Holy.
Yeah. I took time, traveled, went to Australia, went to Vietnam, Thailand.
Okay, yeah.
And then now we're here.
There you go.
So what made you kind of want to start modeling? How did you kind of get into it?
This is the trickiest question. I never wanted to get into modeling, actually. I was always like, oh, I'm that ugly duckling with red curly hair. Like when I was growing up, everyone hated red hair. They were just like, gingers, they eat souls or whatever. Kick a ginger day.
No, they don't have souls.
They don't have souls. We just take everyone else's. That's what it is. And so I was never really into my own style. And then when a year ago, I was backpacking in Vietnam, and I was in Vung Tau, which is a big beach city down there. And they have all of the light boxes and so many photographers set up all on the beach coastal area. And I was trying to take pictures on a tripod and set it up and jump in front of the camera and be like, hey, I got the beach in the background, like typical tourist stuff. Yeah. And I had this one photographer come over and he was just like, I see you're struggling. Like, do you want me to take your photo for you? And I was like, thank you. And so we talked for a little bit and I was backpacking for a month, and he was like, I don't know if you're up for it, but we usually do bridal photography, and we really want to branch out into more Western photography. We're obsessed with your white skin, freckles, and your curly hair, and we'd love to shoot with you if you are free, because I was down for the whole month. They're like, at any point, if you want to come, check us out, let us know. He gave me a business card. I was like, it's a little bit sketchy, but I think I'm gonna try it out. Yeah. I looked him up online, looked him up on Instagram. They had 25,000 followers. So I was like, you know what? This is pretty lit. I think this sounds exciting. I was just like, I don't know why these people are so obsessed with me. I'm like, I don't even like my red hair. And then 2 weeks later, I shot with them. It was all free. We got to do a basic wedding photography. We did a high fashion red dress photography. And then we did kind of almost like a boudoir-esque with a black mesh wrapped around. Okay. And the photos turned out stunning. I was like, man, these people really gave me confidence. They're giving me ego over here. And so I tagged a whole bunch of modeling agencies in my photos when I got back from Vietnam. And the agency who I'm with now, Models International Management, had contacted me. And they were like, hey, I see you tagged us and stuff. Do you want to come in for an interview for our new Faces roster? And I was like, jeez, I would love to. And after that, I went in, I had the interview, I signed with them. And 2 weeks later, I got hit by a car. So it definitely put a halt on my career for 8 months, I think. It was June 1st last year that I got hit by a car. I was biking home. Wow. And I was just only did 2 of our course programs. It's a 12-week program with MIM. And I was like, do I still get my deposit back? And then they're like, no, we'll keep your spot. We totally still want you as a model. I was like, man, I don't even know if I'm going to be out of this wheelchair anytime soon. Yeah, that's and I was 3 months wheelchair, 3 month cane, but November came around and I started back up with MIM, and we did the 12-week training program, and I just finished at the end of February. Wow, so yeah, I didn't want to be modeling.
At least they kept your spot though.
Yeah, I know, they were super nice. They were like, checking in on me. They're like, are you okay? Are you mobile? I'm like, I'm okay. I just don't know like when I'll be back.
Yeah.
And so I just got to restart the program all over again, but like super grateful that they wanted to still keep me around. And like, I was like, man, I'm just starting off my modeling career and boom, my car.
Everybody wants me though. So like, what do they train you in specifically?
Specifically, you do like definitely you learn makeup because you have a wide range of people who are coming into the modeling program. Like I think it starts around like 7 or so all the way up. No limitations on age on that part. And you learn how to do makeup for natural makeup, runway, photo shoots. You learn runway walk, styling, what you're supposed to bring for your photo shoots. And one main thing that I loved learning was about the model bag, that suitcase I bring everywhere. Just having that and just like you're supposed to have different like strapless bra, nude bra, black bra, different underwear, like clothing pins so you can tie back clothing if it's too big, a silk scarf to go over your makeup so you don't have makeup transferring over. And they just teach you like a lot of the core things that you should definitely know before you go in front of a photographer. Knowing your own body space, like knowing your good lighting, knowing like where your chin should like sit, if it's like upper, lower, and like having a good 15 poses in your back pocket. You want to be ready to just whip out any pose and be confident in it. You don't want to just like, okay, what next? Like the main thing I loved learning from the 12-week program was just like not being scared in front of a photographer and just knowing that I'm confident in front of them and not being like, okay, you tell me what to do. You tell me, because I think you're just putting way more work into the photographer's work by telling them, just being like, okay, do you like this? Is this okay? And then just waiting, just having your own kind of direction.
Yeah.
I learned that from Mim and I'm super thankful for that because I'm like, I get that a lot of compliments on knowing my own direction.
That's great.
Like, it's always good to have.
Especially for commercial, like any commercial photography or like big budget shoots, like the photographer does not have the time to place the model like specifically like how it would look best for that person, right?
Yeah.
Like they have like the whole composition, you have everything else to deal about.
And specifically in
product, right?
commercial, like I learned different pant poses and like you work with whatever piece of article clothing you have. I have flare sleeves, so you would be showing those off. You know, like you just know those different parts from doing this program where I feel like sometimes if you didn't do this program, you wouldn't know. And I also did styling, but I feel like you wouldn't know like to show off, put your hand in the pocket, to show off the wide leg flare or something like that. But again, stylist, I'm obsessed with clothing.
So there you go. Yeah. Like you will learn little tips from different things, right? So you have Mim to help you out. You have your own styling stuff. If you do like other things like maybe dance and things like that, you learn different tips of how to pose.
And meeting new photographers too. Like I continuously, when I shoot with one photographer, it opens up the books to meet new photographers, and they like I've learned so many new different ways to shoot with people, like very avant-garde kind of styles, and like when you're supposed to be looking like you're about to fall or something, like I've now learned to do just those rather than just like straight giving face, you know, trying to use your whole body into it. So I'm like,
well, it definitely helps. Like also like having a photographer who kind of knows how to pose you helps a lot as well.
100%. If the photographer doesn't like to give direction or look kind of shy, it's like I like to try to get them out of their comfort zone and be like, okay, so like, did you like this or not? Because you can tell me if I look horrible. I do not care. I was like, I want these shots to just like turn out fire for both of us.
Yeah, no, exactly. And especially like for someone who's like not fully comfortable posing, you can have the photographer be like, oh, move your hand here, do this. It helps to get the shot like to look better.
Yeah, you know? A collaboration. It's just like working together. But if you have a model who goes out there and she just like wants to sit in front of the camera and be like, okay, now what? Yeah. I feel like it's just like, oh gosh, I've been at like a few shoots and they're like, okay, give me more poses. Like the girls are like asking me to tell them what poses to do, and I'm like, have a good set of 15 before you go to a shoot, just so that you don't seem unprepared.
Yeah, exactly.
Like for models and for photographers as well, right? Because like you're not always gonna be working with models.
No, definitely.
Like, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So always have at least, even if it's just like pictures on your phone of poses, because I find that really helps a lot for people that don't know posing, because you can tell them put your hand here, but they don't know what it looks like. So they're like, does this look good? Do I look awkward? My legs look weird. Like they think about that. So that's why I always like have a couple images so they can look at it. They can like, okay, that's what you're looking for, and then I take 1 or 2 shots, show them how they look, and then they can be like, oh, I don't like me moving like that, and then they can place themselves how they like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
So,
like Pinterest, that is my best friend.
Yeah, I think we did an episode on that.
Yeah.
A whole episode on Pinterest.
I have my private boards because I'm like, I don't want people to steal all my ideas.
Smart.
But-
Oh, mine are public. I don't give
Yeah,
a shit.
I'm like,
Yeah, same.
oh man, a lot of people just love to steal ideas, and I'm like, man, these are great ideas, and I'm going to adapt from it, but I'm not going to steal their ideas
Yeah.
specifically. You don't want to take
Yeah.
someone else's content, but just like learning all those poses from Pinterest, I was like, man, like how do I put my hands around my face and all that kind of stuff? I'm like,
yeah.
Pinterest is
Mhm.
perfect for this.
Oh, exactly. I love Pinterest. I haven't used it.
I get like 5 saves a day from other people seeing
Yeah.
my stuff. Like,
Yeah.
that's all I get for email notification all the time. I'm like, oh,
The thing I like about Pinterest though is that it also shows you stuff that are similar to what you're already looking at,
Exactly.
yeah,
which is I don't want to talk a whole episode on Pinterest, but
again,
Yeah.
it's definitely sweet to have that it shows you stuff that it kind of recommends
Yeah.
what you.
because
Could
you
be
can
looking
find
at.
like different ideas, right,
Mhm.
and then like mash them all together for a shoot.
Yeah.
Like kind of like what I did with Michaela the other day, like
Yeah.
mixing paint, popsicle glitter, and like a
Yeah.
bunch of weird stuff all together. Like,
Yeah.
it's fun.
Definitely looks cool too.
Yeah,
Yeah, when I went to Montreal, I had such a hard time trying to explain the like vibe I was going for. I'm like, it's like contemporary linen, and I'm like,
they're like, They draw
like maybe
blank.
Vogue Italy, and they're like, I'm like, and like I just kept adding ish at the end of it. I was like mod ish, avant garde ish, I don't know ish, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna send you all of these ones from Pinterest, and I was like, the similar page. I was like, yes, scroll underneath
Yeah.
it, find all
Yeah.
the similar ones. I was like, this is the style that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And it was just so much easier to capture what you're looking for.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
it helps the photographer know like, oh, I should be grabbing this angle and to make it look better and stuff like that. Like
It's
angles
so
are
much-
everything
So
as
much
well.
better. Like that's what I usually do with model or anybody. I'm like, send me a picture or tell you can tell me what you want, but like send me a picture so we're on the same page.
yeah.
So I know if I'm supposed to shoot nice and bright and airy, or I'm going dark and gloomy, or like
right? It just helps to come
Mhm.
prepared for whatever vibe you're
Yeah.
going for. That's
Like-
why I'm like, always message your photographers and your
Yeah.
models and like do the collaboration together. So that
Oh,
way
yeah.
you just like know like even what scene you're going, if it's outside, inside. Like once this one guy wanted me to like come full blown like makeup done, hair done, like super nice dress, but it was pouring rain out. And I was like, I don't know what
that
shot.
could be cool though.
He didn't want the pouring rain. I was like, oh yeah, like I'm down for mascara running down my face.
Yeah.
I'm down for all of this. But he was like, oh, like I didn't plan out that it was supposed to be raining and all this stuff. And I was like,
So you look at
these
the
are
weather.
the things that you think about. You think about the weather and the location.
Yeah.
Location, especially so your outfit matches your location.
Yeah.
You do not want to be coming out with like, I don't know, like a mini dress when you're just like sitting in like I did this one shoot that was in a house and all I had was like this short dress and I was like, I don't think it's gonna look cute if I'm just sitting on a couch
Yeah.
because it's just so basic. You're just gonna be sitting there and you'll be like, but there's not much you can do with that
Yeah.
atmosphere.
Exactly.
But he wanted a short dress, so I was like, man, we gotta figure out something to work here.
Like the other thing for photographers is like let your model know if you're doing studio or outdoors,
hmm
because makeup changes like crazy.
Yeah.
Because like I've talked to makeup artists and they're like, yeah, you're packing on makeup for studio, because you won't see it because of the flash.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you need to pack it up. But like if you're doing outdoors, you don't need to,
hmm
right? So like make sure your model knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Another
That's
key
big
thing you
time.
will learn at MIM is to know like which like scene you're going for. If you are going to studio lighting and stuff like that, you are putting a ton of makeup on, like you said.
Yeah.
Runway, you're like hardly even blending your contour. It's just so you're painting for the people like 30 meters or 30 feet away.
Yeah.
It's theater style.
Yeah.
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 So I'm just like, it's so nice to have those tips.
Yeah.
Definitely. So do you think like being a part of an agency is actually worth it?
I love being part of my agency. I have met a lot of freelance models
Mhm.
since I started doing my modeling.
Yeah.
It depends what you think you're about to get out of this. If you think you're about to go into it and you're just going to start getting paid jobs, they tell you you're averagely like your wage and stuff, which
Yeah.
is like $125 an hour. So if
Okay.
you're going in thinking that that's what you're getting right away, before you're even done your 12-week program, like modeling is an investment. And like
Yeah.
I'm like, if you have the money to do so, being with an agency is totally worth it. They will put you out for test shoots. I'm coming out with a test shoot coming up soon, and those will get you your placements, which are going to be like abroad placements. They're going to get your portfolio updated. A lot of freelance modeling. You can get taken advantage of a lot of the time too. Like I've had a lot of people say that they didn't get paid at all, and they were supposed to, like, they made arrangements, signed contracts, didn't get paid, and there's no way to follow up because they're on their own. You know, they don't have like an agency.
Yeah, they don't have anyone to follow up.
Yeah, but my agency, they have 3 months to get paid, and then they are like to fight the people who are supposed to be giving you money. They're supposed to hound them and get all that money for you. But if we're talking about like what I've done with MIM, I've done 2 runways, and I've done CTV News twice. But every photo shoot that you guys have seen, except for Algonquin, I did get Algonquin through MIM. Because it was just, they were looking for people to finish their their portfolios for the semester, so they asked MIM Models to come in for free. But all of my stuff that's on my Instagram right now is just Instagram collabs. I love meeting up with new photographers, like thinking of something super creative. I'm making my own like Instagram portfolio while I'm still building my modeling portfolio with them. But it's just super nice that I had the money at the time to do the 12-week program, learn everything. Like I feel like a way more rounded model, because before going into it, I did not know like to be monitoring all of your elements, you know, like it's everything, your body language and like your hair, your makeup, my curly hair. Like most times I'm like, gotta remember not to put it behind my ears and stuff. So yeah, I love being with an agency. I've talked to a few people not being with an agent, and they've talked about how hard it is to get paid work. But again, I'm with an agency and I have not done paid work yet. So I did CTV News back in November, which was supposed to be paid. There's just a little bit of a problem with the payment on that one. But so yeah, I've just done a lot of collaborations with my agency, and they will send me out whenever a runway's coming up and stuff. But you can definitely, it's super easy to go in the Ottawa Fashion Models Facebook page, and they're always posting Runway for Hope, always post their auditions there. There was a Fashion Academy that did one there as well. Ray of Light mental health runway as well was on there. So there's like a ton of opportunities if you do want to freelance and you don't have the money to pay like for these programs, because these programs are a lot. You are paying to be part of this company because they are putting your face out there. There's a lot of extra fees that a lot of people don't think about, like internet fees, portfolio fees, photo shoot fees, yearly fees to be with them, getting digital shots, test shoots, even though they are going to be like showcasing you like maybe to Italy, France, you still pay for these test shoots. Even if it's just for a product, you pay a hefty amount.
That's fair.
Yeah, so that's the thing with like agencies versus freelance. Freelance, it's like you have to learn everything, right? So if you're not good at connections, well, you have to learn it. You have to learn business. You have to learn all that. But with an agency, like I had this conversation with somebody today. It's like, if you don't know how to do something, and like you're not good at it whatsoever, get somebody that are experts that know what they're doing. So as models, as models, if you don't know how to do connections or you just don't have them yet, go with an agency. If you have the money, obviously, go with an agency. They have all the connections for you, and then they can help you out, make you, like you said, more rounded model, and from there you can go freelance if you want later on, or stay with an agency or something like that.
Yeah, they just kind of like pave the road a little bit for you. It's nice, cushiony.
Exactly.
I started before this wanting to be just like an Instagram influencer for like mental health, reach out to a lot of people. And I actually worked with Aerie, which is American Eagle's bra lingerie company. And all of that kind of stuff I got on my own. But you need to know like your connections. So I was like, you need to know your audience and how to like put yourself out there.
No, exactly. So who are some of your favorite photographers you worked with so far?
Oh, this is hard.
Uh-oh.
So there's none?
Absolutely none of them. Just kidding. I
hate all of you.
I've actually loved working with, it's like so cliche, but I've loved working with every single photographer because they've each added something new. I learned something like new reflectors and stuff. I like learning just about the cameras and stuff with them too. So recently I've now been shooting with reflectors in the background, and I was like, oh my God, get the gold side on me or the silver side, black, we're good. A couple of people who have like really stood out to me who've like helped me along the way. Like Kea takes photos, 100% helped me out. She did my second or third shoot with me, and after that it just like opened the floodgates. She had so many connections. She was showing me all over the place. She was like, this is Hollie, she's my redhead model, we love her. And just like, she was just so about my journey with me. Her and I were both in car accidents. We just meshed really well. And so I think she's like very passionate about what she does, and when she's passionate about it, the photos come through. She comes through in those photos. They're amazing. Another photographer, Campbell's Captures, it's Alex Campbell, does amazing commercial photography. If you were looking for like showing off a garment, you're showing off like your new outfit, you're showing off like a purse or something, all that kind of stuff, he'll get whatever angle you need to get. And he brings everything. He'll bring props, he'll bring lights, he'll bring flash, he'll bring reflectors, and he'll like go ham. He'll be holding the reflector at the same time trying to take the photo. And like, I'm like, man, we need an assistant. Yeah, and just like super creative. We've done smoke bombs together, and we were gonna do paint powder in Montreal, but no time. It's just such a great city.
Oh,
do you give a fuck?
Shut up! I'm trying to start this thing here. God damn it! What's like the most notable thing you've learned from a photographer?
Oh, most notable thing that I have learned from a photographer.
That could be like posing, camera gear, lighting, whatever.
Yes.
There goes a water bottle.
I would say the most notable thing is probably the lighting, because I've never had to learn that aspect of it. I learned like in modeling, I learned all my posing and learning my body like space and everything. But the lighting part, I had no idea, like the butterfly, the half, like the one that's like kind of leaning over it like a plant. Like I'm like all of that kind of lighting with like reflectors and stuff, and then big fan lights. I never knew how to work those. So I'm like, coming from like liking photography as well, I learned those kind of tricks just so I can help out the photographers behind the scenes. I can always help out on set. And like learning from photographers, just like being comfortable with them as well. And when they give direction, always take the direction and I've never been like upset with direction. I'm just like, yes, please give it to me. I want to look perfect. But a lot of people are just like, oh, like don't take criticism well, but it's not criticism. Right. It's just a little light direction so that you guys get the shot that you guys both want, you know, get a different angle and how to move around. So learning to work with photographers in their direction, I think that's pretty valuable. Yeah,
that's very true.
Oh, yeah.
So do you find like whenever you're shooting with photographers, do you find them like showing you the shots and like talking to you while you're shooting, like help you?
Definitely. Oh my God. Like I like at first, when I was first starting to just collab with people, I was just like, oh yeah, you can show me that. I don't care, whatever. But now I'm just like, I actually fully look at the photos and I was like, okay, my arm could have been just like slightly down so it didn't look so like awkward and angled and stuff. So I think when you guys both look at the shots after a couple, you can both see where maybe my hair was really off, but like it looked like a perfect shot or something. I think it's so much easier to look at it. I did a shoot the other day where I haven't even seen the photos. I think it was yesterday. I haven't even seen the photos at all for it. So I'm like, I don't even know if this shoot was fire at all yet. I'm just really hoping. And I won't see those photos for a while. So it was for a product launch. So I'm I'm just hoping that we fit the vibe well with the chair. But I did not get to see any of those. I don't know if my hair looked good, my makeup. Maybe my eyes were blinking, ginger eyes.
Actually, since we have them all here, for doing a free, like a collaborative shoot, how many photos do you expect from a photographer? We've had discussions about this before.
Honestly, I don't ever expect anything. I've done collaborations before, and like just once, I haven't gotten anything back from them, and I was like, lit. That's awesome. But like I was just like, oh, okay, awesome. You didn't want to post them, you didn't want to send them, cool. But I don't expect a lot. You're doing it for free. It's a lot of editing hours and stuff like that. If you're doing film, I did film recently, you're wasting rolls on it too. So I don't expect anything, but 3 would be great for sure, because I like to do sets on my Instagram now. So I would like to have just 3 to go for a series. If I get 1 or 2, like that's super awesome as well. I'm like, I'll I'll probably post them with something similar around it, or maybe I'll post on a story. But every photographer besides that one guy, I've gotten overloaded with photos. Like even like editing, they will just like edit at least 200, and I'm like, man, you didn't have to do 200. I've gotten 200, and I'm like, you didn't need to do 200.
Sounds like
wait,
Pedro.
no. Wait,
I've never shown
No, last
it was-
episode. Talking about
Oh yeah,
500.
true. I was trying to figure out who it was.
That's who it was.
Yeah. I'm like, you know what? Sometimes even 50 to 80, that's still quite a bit of photos to go through. Because, like, already I'm OCD. So I'm like, which one is the best? So I'm like, if you already send me what you think is the best, I'll pick from those.
Exactly.
I love when they do send me the raws as well, too. Because there's some vibes that, I'm really digging this dark vibe. And they didn't like it as much, but I'm like, can I still have this photo? They I'll ask if they let me, and they'll say that they can edit it for me too. Usually, they'll be like, hey, I can edit this for you if you want. It just didn't match what they were about to post on their Instagram, so I was like, different vibe. But if we collaborate and it works well, like usually people are pretty nice to give you like the raws and stuff, but do not post a freaking raw. Do not post a raw. Oh my god, I've never done that, but I've seen people post raws, and I'm like, that photographer is going to be so mad right now. It's just bad. You want to give the photographer their credit. You want to show them what you're going to post before you post it. If you edit it yourself, which I would say don't, if you edit it yourself, at least show the photographer what you're about to put on there, and never edit with an Instagram freaking filter. Like, oh my god, if you're going to edit it and you're going to put it on yourself, at least download Lightroom, like Snapseed, something else, like, that's convenient for you, but not Instagram, because like you can tell, like that just looks like it ruins the quality, it ruins the colors, and if the photographer, if it's an edited photo and you just place like a filter over top of it, like they wasted hours putting in their own vision, and you've just like completely been like, Instagram filter, hi, this is a new selfie.
It has to match
like,
my feed for the air filter.
I'm just like, people put a lot of work into their art, respect it, don't just like
It's good to have a model on here who actually talk about that
so
stuff.
You guys heard it here?
Yeah, you guys heard that.
Don't fuck our pictures up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's like one big tip for models. I'm just like, man, if they're gonna send you the raws, be very thankful that you get to see all of the poses and everything like that. But if like, I've had photographers tell me before, just like that people have posted the raws and they were just like, it doesn't look good on either of them. They're just like, you make me look like a bad photographer. Yeah, you tagged me in that, but you didn't get to see all the extra process that goes into after the photo shoot. It's not just like you have a beautiful subject, you capture it, throw that out on Instagram. It's like there's a lot of details that go into it, and like layering, frequency separations, that kind of stuff to get the quality there.
Exactly. Yeah. So going off that, do you have any like tips and tricks for models who are just getting started?
Definitely be open to everything. Don't say no. Definitely say no if it's sketchy. Do not say yes. But don't be scared about anything. Don't be like, oh my god, like today I was like, I've never been on a podcast before and I hate the sound of my voice, but I was like, you know what, it'd be super cool. I've never even met Ace or Frank, but I was like, you know what,
that's fair.
Go meet these people, go to their random house in Russell and shoot this podcast.
I mean, we're not sketchy people.
No, like you make good connections, and like when you're open to things, I think that's where opportunities just start flowing to you. Like when I got approached to do that product promotion I did yesterday, it was for a graphic design of a chair, and when he first messaged me, it was a very awkward. He was like, I've seen your Instagram before and I really want to work with you. I have this idea. I'm making a chair and I want you to sit in this chair. And I was like, this is just like starting to be a little bit creepy.
Yeah.
But honestly, I was like, just go with it. I was like, product design. I'm like, this guy, he just graduated from Carleton. Like I was like checking it all out, making sure my facts check out straight.
It's
and I was
legit.
like, you know what? He's pretty legit. I'm going to go for it. And the nicest person I've ever met, just such a great personality, really down to earth, and had a great design for this chair. And now I got to pose with it, and it was like something new. It's something new modeling with an extra person on the side, because I had to model with another person with me too. And I'm aware of my own body and stuff like that, but trying to also model with their body and see what they're doing so we don't have very different vibes.
Yeah.
And then also a chair, like how, like don't touch the chair, but look at this chair, or like we did very like avant-garde poses where you're like almost bending till you're about to break your back over top of this chair to like show the cool dynamics of it. So I'm like, don't say no to anything for sure. Like I was very like out of my comfort zone to just try something new with like product promotion and even podcasts and stuff. But I'm like, get out of your comfort zone, find it, see if it's fun. If it works
definitely.
for you, it does. If it doesn't, like I think
you know.
at least you know. Like I feel like if you're gonna be a modeling, you have to be pretty open to like meeting new people and stuff like that. Even like clothing changes in public. Like every single time I meet a photographer, they're like, so there's no bathroom around out here. You're gonna have to change out in this wilderness. And I'm like, I got you covered. I am prepared for this. I'm like, I brought stuff so that I can easily get changed outside, switch bras, switch underwear, switch everything. And I think that's what you got to be prepared for is like clothing changes on the go. And yeah, steaming your clothes. I tell every photographer knows me because I have a steamer in my bag all the time. But you know how bad your clothing shoot is going to go if you are trying to show off a piece of clothing and it's wrinkled. You're just like, oh, this looks, I'm like, even in the editing process, you can't take out that wrinkling. Like,
No.
I'm like,
No.
I don't think so, but I
No.
think it'd be very hard. So like coming prepared with whatever vibe you want and having your clothes steamed, it's essential.
No,
Yeah.
definitely.
That's right.
So kind of going off the way you're talking about like how the guy like DM'd you.
Yeah.
Do you find, or do you know if there's like a proper way to go about DMing models? How would you give a photographer a tip about going about DMing models?
Definitely don't just message them and tell them they're gorgeous, because like messaging them and letting them know that you have an idea in mind or that you're so uniquely beautiful or something, not just being like, you are drop dead gorgeous, I just want to shoot with you, I don't know what to shoot, but like, ooh, you're hot. I'm like, okay, did you find me on Tinder or something? Like, get out of my DM. I'm like, I'm here for the professional people here.
Maybe he's taking pictures for Tinder.
Yeah.
I wanted to see if you wanted pictures for Tinder.
I'm like, I just needed a new DP on there. I haven't updated in a while, but yeah, I'm just like, if you're gonna message them, like male photographers, unfortunately, are known for just like, girls automatically are gonna be like, ooh, is he trying to sleep with me? I don't know. And I'm like, don't think bad about every male photographer who's going to message you. They're not. They're trying to.
The answer is always yes.
The answer is always yes.
I'm just joking.
Just
I'm
always be okay
joking.
with it. Never say no to opportunities.
Went
Edit
down.
All right.
Edit that.
I'm leaving it in how it
Release form. Consent form. We're good.
But yeah, if you're just like going to message a model just because they're beautiful and you're very attracted to them, you're going to make them feel uncomfortable during the shoot as well. And if you're uncomfortable, it's going to show in the photos. Like I've had photos where I'm just like completely out of my element. The photographers made me feel really uncomfortable. And I look like I'm just giving them the biggest resting bitch face. And they're like, oh, yeah, you got like such a cold look on your face. I'm like, yeah, I do not want to be here right now. Like, I'm out.
That's a big tip for photographers. Like,
Yeah, don't be a creep.
no, like, cool, you're a photographer, you're great at photography. Learn your, like, people skills. Because, like, make the whole experience comfortable. Like, we talked about this so many times. Like, we have speakers to blast. Like, the models, like, at least has a rhythm or something to go.
Yeah.
So it's not, like, dry, awkward. If they don't know how to pose, at least there's something to, like, make them relax. Have, like, a 5-10 minute conversation. Get to know them or something. Just so, like, things get rolling so they're not, like, awkward and they're not going to open up and then start modeling, right?
Yeah. Like,
Especially if you're, like, someone... Sorry to cut you off, but especially if you're someone who doesn't, like, talk a lot.
yeah.
Like, having music there, just not silent, helps so much.
I was just going to say that, like, literally getting in my element, I always love to have music there. I'm like, I have a playlist on my phone that's just for modeling so that I know if I want to, like, get into a good mood and I'm not in a good mood that day, I'm like, these songs will get me pumped. I'm going to enjoy the day. It'll be a good one. I've had photographers who are just like, I just like to have silence in the background. And I'm like, just like, okay, wonderful. And then I'm like, can you at least like talk to me during it? Be like, oh yeah, great angle or something. I'm like, I don't just want to be like, okay, now I'm gonna move again, you know? And you can like hear the clip going and you're like, okay, so I've heard it go a couple times. Okay, I'm just gonna move now and not talk. So I'm like, music is essential, yes.
Next thing you know, they're shooting Sony with silent shutter. Just dead silence.
Oh, yeah.
That would
Oh,
be.
yeah.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
Silent shutter, I hate this.
Like one
Go for
story
events,
about
but-
like something that happens with like a girl that we've shot with. Like she went to go shoot with her photographer, and the dude just like kept pushing on her to like shoot in a bikini.
Yeah.
Like, oh, do this, shoot in a bikini, shoot. Like just kept pushing, and she's just like, I'm so uncomfortable right now.
Yeah. I've gotten to shoots before where I've come with like high fashion. I'm just like, it's like super like something random or so, but it's not going to be boudoir. I'll be coming in with like random I'm like, I can't even think of anything right now, but vag. I was going to say fuck, sorry, edit that out.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
But I'll have like a certain idea, we've already talked about it, and then all of a sudden they're like, so what are you wearing underneath that? And you're like, well, I'm wearing what would have been best if it's needed to be a nude bra under here. She's not lace, it's just nude because I'm wearing white or something, you know?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, like let's get down to this so we can get like good digitals of you. And you're like, oh, did you bring a bathing suit? Did you bring this lace thing? And blah blah blah. And I'm like, I didn't come for this shoot. I'm like, if we prepared for this, like if we talked about this, and if I was comfortable with you with this, definitely I'm not against doing like bathing suit pictures and stuff like that, but at least having a conversation about it and being comfortable with them. If you're uncomfortable, you're just going to be like, maybe not.
No, exactly. Well, the girl never ended up shooting in the bikini.
Yeah.
Like, it's just weird.
And you're like in that situation where you're just like, I have to tell you no in person, and I don't know if you're going to, like, I've been in that situation where you're like, I don't know now if you're going to still send me the photos or not. You know?
Obviously, shooting
Like, if
what's,
I have one photographer who hit me up to like go like out after, and I was just like, man, like, if I say no, am I not going to get these dope photos from you? Because like the photos turned out amazing. I was like, but if I don't sleep with you, am I not going to get these photos? Because you only post certain people on your Insta. But no, like,
It's just weird.
It's messed.
Yeah.
That's weird stuff.
I'm just going to shut that fan off real quick.
Oh, now the fan is noisy.
That white
It's not
noise.
noisy. It's just moving this, and it's irritating me. Because I see it moving on the screen. It's just annoying me.
Just a little ghost in the background.
Every episode we have something.
You know what? You be quiet over there.
Oh, no,
You pipe down. So do you have any like goals that you want to achieve for modeling? Anywhere you kind of want to go for modeling?
Definitely. So when I started to go into modeling, like I said before, I used to want to be an Instagram influencer. So I wanted to promote mental health, ending diet culture, eating disorders and stuff like that. Eating disorder recovery, not promoting eating disorders. And so with modeling, I would love to use modeling as my platform to have a bigger voice to a wider audience. I want to eventually, I have now archived my whole Instagram, so I don't have all of my old mental health posts, all of my airy collaborations. I might put them up there again after I unarchive them one time. But I really want to, once I become known for being a model and being unique, red hair, all that kind of stuff, I feel like once people start following along with your journey, it's a lot easier for people to understand like what you went through and like even to relate with you, and you get more followers that way. A lot of my followers did come from like mental health and eating disorder recoveries and stuff, and then traveling, because I did a lot of traveling photography and stuff. So all my followers were from that before, but now it's like slowly photographers, slowly models, slowly all of this stuff. So I've started the gram fresh, and I'm going to just be posting modeling for a little bit now, and eventually once my platform's big enough, I really want to just branch it out so people start to listen more, you know? Once they know you for one thing, they'll start to like be like, yo, I didn't realize you had such a hard past, or that you overcame this kind of stuff. And then they have a deeper respect for you, and it helps other people understand themselves. Themselves.
That's fair.
Yeah, so I want to do that. And I like future, like I want to go and do modeling abroad with, I'm hoping Boom Models in Italy. They do a lot of MIMS contracts there. I think I would have a really good style over in Italy, UK. I would love to go back to Asia, model in Asia for like real this time. Get to like actually do like clothing companies, like stay in fun hotels and stuff like that. So the things that I'm looking forward for those goals, but I'm looking forward to like the end result of trying to do something bigger with it. I don't just want to be known for being unique and having like a beautiful face. I want to have like a great personality, well-rounded. I want to like be known for like being that activist within the community, and also like someone's ally and stuff like that in the LGBTQ community. I just like pretty want to be everywhere.
That's sweet.
Okay. So do you have like a specific target audience for your Instagram page?
Specifically right now it's just models.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to build it that way. I'm trying to get photographers. I've actually like reached out with a lot of people in the UK, LA, New York, Toronto, Montreal. I have a ton of shoots that I'm planning right now, and all collabs, not paid, but I am like doing a lot of road trips with friends. We're already supposed to go to LA this summer, so I think I'm going to meet up with like 5 or so photographers while I'm down there and do like a big clump of it. And so that's really where my audience is right now. It's just like a bunch of photographers, people abroad. Still have a bunch of people following me from when I was working with Aerie. I have a ton of the Aerie role model girls following me, which super grateful. They've helped me out along the way. They're all super supportive. A lot of them GTA, the US, and just continue to follow my journey, which is awesome. And a lot of people with the eating disorder stuff, they follow my journey, continue to support, and a little bit of a mix of everything.
Pretty much everything.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
That's definitely sweet. Do you have like a favorite type of modeling you like to do? Like a style or theme?
I like to do very commercial high fashion because I love to I'm a stylist again. I'm going to say it 100 times. I love to show off the clothing, and I know exactly how to work a piece of clothing. But right now I've been into really like, I don't even know if this is going to be the right word for it, but like the avant-garde kind of, where it's just like completely like, it's very unique creative styles, and it's not something you would see. It's not the over-edited Photoshop kind of style, but it's like dynamic angles and stuff. Portraying a message too. Like I love activism within photography. Love that. Subtle hint of like danger elements and stuff like that.
It's more or less like the art form.
I'm really into the art form of it right now. Whereas like commercial modeling is like your standard modeling. You'll see it in like catalogs and stuff like that. So I really do love doing that. But I'm really into doing, I have a ton of creative projects lined up for the summer. So I'm like excited to do all that. Streetwear has been my favorite so far. I've done like 3 shoots for streetwear. And very into that. Smoke bombs, super cool.
Yeah, those are fun to use.
Pain in the ass to shoot, but
oh my god,
But yeah, those are a blast.
Definitely.
Yeah, just plan out the win, and you're somewhat good for that.
True. All right, let's get into these questions from people.
Oh yeah, we got a couple questions, and then we'll do a lightning round. I'm gonna set lightning round up.
I have it set up.
You have it set up?
Yeah.
No, like.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So. Pedro Decimus, our last guest, actually asked, what has surprised you the most about the photography/modeling industry?
What has surprised me the most is there's so much that has surprised me, to be honest. Like, when I went into modeling, I thought it was very superficial. I didn't really like modeling at all. That's why I didn't really want to get into modeling. I was just like, people are all about looks. People are all about like, I was just like super thin, tall, blonde model, your standard girl. I was like, I'm not going to fit in this industry. And so I was really not like, I didn't like modeling at all until like I went to Asia, and they were so obsessed with my style. And like I said, growing up, I never liked my style, but like, it's like when you have that change of scenery, it's like, oh, people like Western society over here doesn't like my unique style. Like now we're getting onto it. We're like, yay, we're liking unique styles and stuff like that. But for a long time, like it was like hard to like, everyone was just like, man, you look like Hagrid from Harry Potter, you know? Like I'm like, oh damn, okay, whatever. But then when I went over to Vietnam, it was just like, they were all like, oh my god, your curly hair, like how long does it take you to do your hair? Like what products do you use? Your white skin? And so I was just like, oh my god, thank you so much for all of these compliments. So like getting into it, but then, so back to the superficial thing, is I always thought like people were super superficial within the industry. And that's like 100% what has changed for me. Like I have not met one person who's been super superficial. Like everyone has been down to earth. Everyone's like gone through their own struggles and stuff like that. I thought like I would have like had just such a different journey than everybody else and had such a different like upbringing, but so many people just like, I don't know, maybe don't voice it as much. So it was nice to just be like, oh, you have insecurities too. And like, I'm like, you're a drop dead gorgeous model, but like, you think I'm like stunning and a goddess, pardon? So I'm like, it's just fun to see like their own insecurities and yours and just be like, no, we're all in this industry together. And it's not just like, even though they are that like naturally beautiful girl, it's like she has her own insecurities that you aren't seeing because you're not looking at her 24/7 of the day, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, makes sense. Yastinar asked for how long have you been modeling?
So, I first signed with MIM in May last year. I got back from backpacking in May and I did the interview with them and I signed my contract. And like I said earlier, I did 2 weeks of the program and then I got hit by that car. So officially, I only say that I started modeling in November because those 6 months off or 8 months off did not count. I do not count that as modeling. I mean, I did like modeling with Aerie during that time, and I did just regular Instagram shoots by myself, but I wasn't modeling with an agency. And then I finally started back like November 1st, and I just finished the 12-week program like probably like February 27th or so. So like it was like right at the end of February too.
Just in time for summer.
Yeah, I'm like all of these collabs.
Oh yeah.
Yastinar asked, why did you decide to sign with an agency?
I decided to sign with an agency because I tagged a bunch of people in my photos when I got back from Vietnam modeling, and I was like, they were one of the people who had messaged me, and I had a few agencies that had messaged me, and I looked them up. There's some in Toronto, Montreal, another one in Ottawa as well, Angie's Models, checked them all out. But I really liked MIM's Models International Management, their vibe. They just seem to be going for less standardized modeling. They seem to like showcase like a little bit more unique style, and I thought that's where I would fit the best. So I'm pretty happy to be with MIM. I'm like, it's pretty nice.
Yeah. Can't complain.
Can't complain. It's been good.
So Yastinar again asks, which concept would you love to create or recreate?
Ooh.
Way too many, but pick one.
That's a good
Yeah, I know. Concept that I want to create is I was supposed to do this a couple weeks ago, but the photographer ended up, he's abroad right now in Malta shooting, but we were going to do this like almost like killer kind of scene with like the blood smear everywhere and like psycho kind of like breaking out of mental hospital kind of thing, and I'm really into that. Sick. I was like, this is something everyone sees my Instagram and they're like, okay, commercial, but then when I do something like that, they're like, oh, wait, they're just like, she branches out into something new, and I'm like, yes, I want to do every element. I can't do every element, but
especially with the hair too.
Yeah,
you just mess around with that. It's so nice.
Yeah, and so with that, the one I would want to recreate is the one I did with Kea. We did this whole cool cosmic like space design all down my arm. We did it in a bathtub, half nude, and I would love to recreate that again. Get like, if we could do it earlier in the day, get more like lighting in there and like even more different, like crazier sexual vibes. Like it was super fun, but it was my first ever time like being naked in a bathtub, and I was like, we weren't even prepared for this. I just showed up there and they had a makeup artist and they were like, we don't know who we're gonna do this on, and I was like, I would love to have makeup all down me, please. And then they were like, okay, put the bathing suit on. I was like, you're gonna go right through the design? I was like, no, I'm going topless. I was like, I'm not putting a bathing suit over your artwork.
Yeah.
So I have one question then.
You're cutting me off.
You were about to start. You were
one
about
more question.
Do you want to finish it then?
Yes.
All right, finish your question.
Yastinar again asked, what do you want to achieve in and with your modeling career?
I want to, I mean, we touched on it a bit, but I do want to achieve. I do want to achieve, I want to be an influencer on a wider audience. I want to just like, I'm like, sweet, if I do make it big and I'm in like some magazines and I'm modeling, that's going to be super awesome. But I want to reach people is my ultimate goal. I'm in school for psychology, sociology, and although I don't see myself being a therapist like I thought I would be, I would still love to reach as many people as I can on like the wide platform of Instagram. I know there's so much like backlash with Instagram. I used to have a social media addiction as well, but like there's happy mediums, you know, you find out where it's toxic and where you're like starting to overthink things and whatever, and you just need to like keep a level head when you're in it. And like I feel like I can help people to like understand that you can use Instagram as your tool to success and not have it like end up like derailing your life, you know? Like a lot of people do get pretty into like the social media addictions and like also like face tuning and stuff like that. Mad. You see them in person and you're like,
what?
your skin looks like the trenches. You know, like you're like, oh, you smoothed that out online.
Okay, continue with your question.
Oh, now I can ask. Okay.
You may speak now.
I may speak. Do you like studio light setup, or do you like more like outdoor style?
I'm outdoor style. I know a lot of people do love studio lights. It's like easy to control and stuff. But I found the last 2 weekends or so, I've been doing a lot of outside shoots, and every photographer has taken stunning shots because the sun glistens on this ginger hair, gets these little blue ginger eyes, and I'm like, these shots are fire. But sometimes like in a studio, you just don't get those kind of like nice glistening that I'm like, this looks like a nice like daytime capture out in like golden hour right now. So I love, and I think there's so many elements you can work with outside. In a studio, I feel like I can just like work with my body, my clothing in the room that I have. But outside, I just like get in my element. I'm super creative and I'm like, yeah, let me try this out. Let's do this.
Yeah, that's what I like about outdoors. Like you have more elements to use. You're not like, you don't have a backdrop, you're stuck, or like you're a kitchen setup, whatever, you're just stuck there like, what do I do?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
there's so much stuff.
It's all on you. There's no like natural props to use and to like blend in or whatnot. But yeah.
All right, let's get into this lightning round.
Ooh, lightning round.
All right, start this horn. Lightning round. Blah, blah, blah. There we go.
Blow the speaker. All right.
Yeah, sure. So basically 10 questions answered off the top of your head as fast as you can.
Stressful. Okay.
You got this.
So number one, famous person you'd like to shoot with, or like photographer, or even model you'd like to collaborate with.
No, my Jesus Christ, I'm gonna have to go with Bella Hadid.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Number two, favorite food.
Favorite food, butter chicken.
Number three, morning or night person.
A night person.
Number four, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Currently LA.
Number five, like your go-to outfit or style.
70s style.
Number six, favorite drink.
Sour key. The double shot. Give me a double shot of that. Warehouse.
Number seven, first thing you'd buy if you won $1 million.
I'd pay off all my freaking debt. I got a lot of that. Ooh. Man, a lot of food. I'm like obsessed with limited edition foods. So I think I'd hit up like the US, hit up those grocery stores and buy a lot of their limited edition stuff. Like the icing. Oh yeah. I'm into it.
Number eight, who would you call if you got put into jail?
My mom. Oh, she's my best friend. Man, she would be bailing me out. She might even be in the jail with me, but she's a ride or die for life. Yep.
Number nine, Mac or PC?
Mac.
Number 10, what would you...
Ooh.
I know, it was PC for a while, but I was like, ooh, Mac.
Hey, I got both. Number 10, what would you tell your younger self?
It's going to be real cliche. To love yourself. I would tell myself to just love myself. I spent so many years not liking me and my style and like my like raising of like everything that happened in my life. So I was just like super not into my own life. But then like I've met so many people this past year that have just like reassured me as a human being that I'm worth it. And I think just like telling yourself early on, even your family encouraging you that like you should just love yourself, do whatever makes you happy. And also don't follow timelines. I'm like, man, everyone in society is set on timelines, like to get married, to finish school in 4 years. Like I'm still in school 6 years. We're not done. Marriage, no. Kids, maybe. Kids, no. Definitely
on
not
the way. Wait, what?
I was like, got
I'm
those
pregnant.
at home. So I just feel like I'm a product of like, things can all come together. You can have like the worst possible past, but like things can just come together at any point of your life. But as long as you keep that hope alive, you keep like loving yourself and loving your own journey, And like, you just really need to be comfortable within yourself, and it's a hard journey to get there, but getting there, it's worth it. 100%.
Definitely.
All that patience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot for coming on, taking the time out of your day to hop on this episode.
Yeah.
Finally got this podcast to work. It just took us like 2 hours to set this up because we had a couple of technical difficulties, but hey.
But
Wish you
hey,
guys might be a fan in the background of this, but
Hey, all good.
Thank you for caring about what I have to say. Oh my god.
No worries. Thanks for coming.
do you have any
Like,
questions
awesome.
for us?
I
If
do
not,
have
totally
like
cool.
I guess I will ask you this one. I was thinking it's for both you guys. I know Frank is now going into rate photography, and this is one thing as a model. I never approach people to ask them like, hey, will you shoot with me? Because I don't want them to fire back and be like, hey, pay me $200 to shoot with you when I'm looking for a free collab. So I'm wondering on your end, how hard is it to switch from being a collab, being like, hey, I'm building my portfolio down to do collabs, and then going to being like, I do rates now. I'm like established. Like, when do you know when you're established enough to start charging rates? And then also your past clients, like, how's that transition for like, if you shot with lots of people, are they like, okay, I'm down to still pay for your work because it's worth it? Or are they like, you're charging me now?
Okay.
Because I work with a lot of photographers, and they're like, okay, I'm starting to charge next. And I'm like, I'll still pay for you because I love what we do. But I understand there's a point, and like every model needs to know there's a point where this is a business and you need to start charging and making your business.
Yeah.
You know?
Because like I've always somewhat like always charged, but like here and there. So what happens is like from what I figured out from not charging to charging was like, I was like, why am I doing this? Like, yeah, okay. Before it was just like for fun. I was always in design school. I'm always like on the computer. I want to get out and shoot. So it was like more for fun. But now I'm realizing like this is actually a job. Like I'm taking like 4 or 5 hours of my day, pretty much every single day, to do something for somebody else. It's a service. I'm like, when I realized that, I'm like, I can pay because like my work is up there for that. So I started charging like that. And then the other question was like how to transition. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Like sometimes you can. Let's start with like no rate to rate. So like you just have to cut the people that are not ready to pay for you. Like if they don't see value, that's totally fine. Like I always say this, like you can find value in whatever, but like somebody might differentiate. Like let's say like that 15 minutes for $500. We had this conversation anyways.
Off camera.
But yeah, anyways. So let's say I'm charging like $500 for 15 minutes. Some people might value that. Some people might not. It's totally fine either way. That's why I tell my clients, like, this is my price. If you're not okay, that's fine. Like, it's just we're not a fit.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So like I'm targeting for this type of audience. If you're not ready for this kind of commitment, then that's totally fine. It's just, it is what it is. You just can't sorry, lack of language, but give a fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it is my price. If you don't want to pay, you don't want to pay. But like,
yeah, you just can't be awkward about it. You're just like,
Exactly.
oh, sorry. Like,
like you just have to put the line, and then just that's it.
Yeah.
And the other thing, which is like, you can answer that too if you want, changing your rates, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you start at like 50, 60, 80, whatever dollars,
Yeah.
and you bump it up. Transition into that is kind of hard, especially if you have always a recurring client. So let's say you have a contract or things like that. You just have to show that it's actually worth the upgrade. Like, okay, I got this kind of new gear now, or maybe it's like, I went through this workshop, I have a lot more experience, or things like that. You just have to show how much work went into it just show them value in what you're actually giving them.
exactly, because you're always progressing. Like, every single shoot you do, every edit you do, you're constantly progressing. So like, I think like models and clients should definitely know that rates are going to go up when you add more experience to your portfolio.
Yeah, because like I work, maybe like the first year was like a couple clients or a couple people. Now I'm working with like over 200 people. Like I've went through a lot of phases, a lot of styles. I know how to cover somebody completely from start to finish for the shoot. So then like it takes me less time, and you get the pictures in like not as much of a time compared to somebody else, just because I know what to shoot.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Like, I don't know, for me, I find it's like whenever you feel comfortable to charge, then you charge. As long as you can back up and explain why you're charging this much. This is like, generally a lot of people don't understand, you're more or less paying for the time it took the photographer to learn all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So like I could charge someone like $200 for 15 minutes or whatever the price was, but
why?
I spent 10 years learning all this stuff that I can have you these photos within 24 hours of the shoot,
Exactly.
you know? So like, in a way you're paying for like the amount of years I've spent like learning all this stuff. But
yeah, it comes down to value.
exactly,
Yeah.
the value. And like, as long as you, I find if you're gonna charge, as long as you can explain why you're charging that much, it is so beneficial for you because you'll be able to gain so many clients off of that.
Exactly.
And not like explaining, oh, I bought this new camera that has like 24 megapixels. Like, clients don't give a shit about that. How does that help them? Like, as long as you can explain and show stuff to people, they will like, then they're more likely willing to pay. But like, I don't know, I enjoy shooting for free. It's fun. Definitely do shoot for free because it allows you to learn how much you should charge. Because like, you'll go do an hour shoot, you just spend 2 hours editing or whatever it is. You now know, okay, this is how much time I've spent, this is how much time I should be charging for.
How much time for gas, preparation, equipment, like all that stuff.
I was gonna say you have to
Coffee,
account for like
food.
Exactly.
gas and stuff, but then the editing process afterwards, like I always see photographers up till like 4 a.m. editing, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you have to consider the after work that goes into it. It's like, yeah, you're the model and now you go home and you just wait for these photos, but there's like a lot of like sleepless nights, long nights where people are like up working on this and multiple shoots because they're not just one person. It's like you have lots of people who are shooting every day.
Yeah, so it's like breaking it down because people can see $500 in different ways. It's all about value. So like $500 seems like a lot for a shoot. Oh, I'm getting 3 pictures for $500. That's insane. But I'm taking like 5 hours of editing or whatever, and this, that, and those 3 images are going on your website, which will get you revenue. Like 500 is nothing because the amount of money you're going to make off of these are going to be like substantial.
And I feel like that's where like that line is where models are like, they don't want to, some of the models, they don't want to pay for it, but I'm like, you're building your portfolio so you can get paid as a model. Like, you are frustrated because you're not getting paid as a model yet, but like, you don't want to pay your photographers and help out within the industry. Like, that's where I don't get it. I'm like, you eventually know you want to get paid, and you eventually are going to have to tell your photographers that you are, like, you pay for photos or whatever. But like, at some point, it's like, it's a business. You both are, if you're taking it seriously, you're both taking it seriously, you're both going to end up charging at one point.
Exactly. I find people rush too much to try and get money.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
I understand money allows you to do what you want to do and its value and stuff like that, but I don't want to sound rude, but like, no offense as a model for starting out trying to charge people and charging your photographers, to me that doesn't make sense.
No.
Just because of, like, if you're an experienced model, obviously charge a beginner photographer, 100% makes sense because you're kind of helping them learn posing and stuff like that. But photographers, for the most part, spend a lot more money on stuff, spend a lot more time,
Yeah, because you have the after process. Like, 100% there's more time.
I don't want to sound rude saying all this stuff.
No.
But I understand, like, models charging obviously want to get paid, but like,
I like
it's a hard line to
met a couple models recently who like are just like freelance models, and they're like, no, like I won't do any TFP, time for photos or whatever anymore. They're like, I only charge.
Or time
and I'm
for
like,
print, that's what it is.
time for print. And I'm like, you aren't with an agency and you like aren't going to charge, or you're just charging people for photos. I was like, how do you even like, I was like, you just started like a month ago and you're like, half your photos don't even like, you know, like the same pose in every single photo. So I'm like, how can you just think that you can just go into modeling and be like, nope, I'm going to charge people now? I was like, work with people for free and like learn everything. And like, if you pay them, that's great, but don't ask your photographer. Like, even right now, I'm like struggling. So I'm like, when would I ever ask a photographer that to be like, hey, I'm actually with an agency, you can book through them? Like, that's where I'm just like,
so my little tip for you on that would be, if you're shooting with a beginner photographer, that makes sense. Because for me, for like a TFP, it's like, if me and you were shooting, in a way, we both have the same experience level. Because you know how to pose, I know how to work your camera, stuff like that. But if you're kind of training the photographer as the model, then I almost feel like you should be charging for that, because it's not like a 1-for-1 trade-off. Like, yeah, you're getting photos, but you can go shoot with someone else who's experienced and knows what they're doing and get the same, if not better, work.
True.
You know?
Exactly.
But if you're shooting with someone who's like, oh, I just started a couple of weeks ago, I'd love to shoot you. Well, guess what? I'm with an agency. I've done all my training. I've been paying for this agency. Wow. Then I would understand to charge.
Yeah, no, it definitely
Because-
makes sense when you put it like that, because like you do go through like modeling programs are expensive. Like at the end of it, before my portfolio, it was about $1,400.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then you have to pay for your portfolio, all of the photos that go into it, all of your test shoots, all of those extra things. So I'm like, economic privilege is. I'm like, if you want to model with an agency, it's hefty prices. Yeah,
No
training
doubt.
goes into it.
Yeah.
Just a little tip.
I loved it.
Yeah, let's end this thing again.
All right, let's end it again.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
No worries.
No problem. Thank you guys for listening, watching this episode. Please make sure to check out our Instagram at Born to Create Podcast. Also, do leave us a nice little 5-star rating on iTunes and Spotify. It actually does help a lot.
It
though.
does.
And also make sure to subscribe on YouTube, because eventually we kind of want to get paid for this and allow us to go travel and do other stuff on our podcast.
Yeah.
So buy better equipment, stuff like that. But yeah, you can check out my Instagram at Acef.media.
I just need a sticker. FM.photography_design.
You need the sweater.
I need the sweater, bro.
You
I
need the
need the sweater.
Sweater.
I mean, it's summertime, so I need a shirt now, but yeah.
Just get a hat.
Get it on your hat, yeah.
I thought about it. I thought about making a custom phone case, but
Oh, yeah, I know. You said that to me. I was like, what's going on
I was
there?
bored. I wanted to spend money.
He
Okay.
uses my,
Logo.
no, my, what was it? Slogan.
Oh yeah.
That was legit my slogan. You took it, you put it. That's why when you said to me, I was like, LOL, because you took my slogan, you put your logo on it, and you're like, I'm making that.
No one needs to know, okay? Yeah. Hollie's Instagram will be linked in the bio. Everything will be linked. So yeah, make sure to go check out Hollie, show her some support, and DM her if you want to go shoot with her. Possibly get some new photographers you can charge.
Yeah, look at
There you
this.
go.
Who knows what can
Wonderful.
happen? But yeah,
Get
thank
some
you.
nice clients.
Peace out, everyone. Stay woke.
Have a good one.